Hello, all you faceless bags of flesh out there. I'm Eric.
And I'm Andrew.
And I'm Clinton, and we're reviewing Silent Hill 2 Remake right here on Super Game Boys.
Hey, what's up, all my pyramid pals?
Hey, bud.
What's up, Tifa?
How you doing, Neil? Glad to be here.
We got our favorite guy, Connor, here, dressed up as Tifa. Clinton's dressed up as a sexy nurse, very, very sexy nurse.
Happy Halloween.
And then Eric and I are...
Spooky enough.
The Mario Brothers. But yes, we have our very good friend and special guest here today, Connor. And Connor is also a massive Silent Hill fan, am I right?
Absolutely. I played it in 2001 when it first came out. I came to realize recently I was 15 years old when this game came out. That is mind-blowing to think about.
Yeah, we're all old.
Yeah. Don't love it.
Yeah, all of us here except
Yeah, I did not play that back then because I essentially watched my friend play like almost the whole thing. So then I was like, I don't really need to play this. I kind of seen it all.
Yeah,
So-
you have a
fair
friend?
enough. Yeah.
You had a friend back then?
I have a couple. Yeah, I have a couple. But yeah, I watched him play like a ton of it. So I just was like, okay, that's good enough for me.
2 specifically, or games in the
it was-
franchise?
I think it was 2. I honestly have no idea.
Fair enough.
It was a lot of fog. It's foggy. It's hard to tell what game it was.
Well, speaking of having no idea, we have no idea if Eric actually played this game or not. Connor, myself, and Clinton have played this game. We specifically told Eric to keep us in the dark about every single thing.
That's not true. Clinton was hitting me up like every day asking me to tell him about the game and my experience.
Oh yeah, you sent me a screenshot.
He sold me out.
I outed him.
Wow.
Outed him in the chat to be like, yo, Clinton hit me up separately from the chat to ask me to tell him about Silent
I
Hill.
was left in the dark this whole time.
Yeah.
And then he puts the screen cap in the chat, says, this slippery serpent.
He's like, yeah, I need to let you know that Clinton's trying to pull some shady
I just
stuff.
had to know.
Yes,
I had to
and
know.
I'm not telling you shit.
All right.
To this moment, it's unclear to me if Eric has actually played the game or not. You've been very steadfast in your stance here.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love
Yeah,
it.
no,
I
I
love
got
that,
I got all my many pages of many notes.
Wow.
I did put some hours.
So you played it.
I played it.
How many
Hell yeah.
hours?
I played it. I would say too many hours, but
So we're getting
I'm in.
a hint.
I think I'm just about done with the hospital. I'm in the Otherworld hospital.
All right.
And I pretty much just completed that. I
So
would think.
you're probably a bit more than halfway.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that face. I don't like that face at all.
I think it's a good chunk of time. I didn't have that much time.
Oh no, you like if hey, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, shall we dive in? Let's talk about this box art, guys.
Hell yeah. It is a great box art.
This is probably the first episode where like the box art's actually awesome.
Yeah,
It's
we
worth
usually
mentioning. Yeah, we usually just blow by this part.
Because it's not good.
Yeah,
yeah,
terrible.
it's usually dog shit, and then we talk about how awesome the Japanese box art is if it has a.
Or, the European one is always way better.
Because American, it's usually like, all right, put a gun in his hand and make him point at the camera, and then that's the
Yeah.
It has all the elements of like a classic movie poster. You know what I mean?
Totally.
You can already get a feeling of the narrative instantly from looking at it.
Exactly. Yeah,
Whether
yeah.
or not you can put names to those faces, it's just.
And I love that there's more focus on Mary than there is James, because arguably this story is about Mary.
Sure, you're learning more and more about Mary and him as time goes on, but I do really love the original North American box art. It's kind of got this mysteriousness to it. You don't really know what the game's about, but it's kind of drawing you in. It's very creepy and has Angela on the cover just laying down in that pivotal scene in the game.
So good.
It's very of its time too. Like the treatment of the font on the initial Silent Hill 2, just grunged up as early 2000s as it gets. There's like 8 different versions of it just placed on top of one another.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Very hot topic.
Very
I was gonna say sick band too, dude.
Yeah.
That start screen, I adored it.
Yeah, tell me about it, because I have written down start screen. It's a gross bathroom. Odd choice. Wouldn't have been my first pick. Not sure what significance this brings, but I'm sure Andy and Clinton will deliver some deep, elaborate metaphorical meaning that I don't give a fuck about. So,
You'd be absolutely right.
All right, let's
that
hear it.
that bathroom is extremely important in my
Do tell.
theory of what is actually going on in the game. But I
Yeah.
think we
Yeah.
should save that for later,
Oh, okay.
because that's
That's getting into it, huh?
It's a bit.
I mean, I loved it because the bathroom is it's the iconic scene of the original. It's what drags you into the game. I mean, the first scene is James, like rinsing his face off, like looking in the mirror, like trying to figure out what's going on, what brought him to this town. Like, is he fucking crazy?
I almost looked at it as a little tongue-in-cheek, because I think bathrooms in the game have just been it sounds stupid, but have been such an important part of the game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Every structure that you're in, there's always something going on in that bathroom, whether it's a hidden item, whether it's something you have to search through, and they're just...
Or a hole that you stick your hand in.
that you stick your hand into 4 separate times. And it's there's saying something is as grimy as a Silent Hill bathroom is a phrase that has been used on and off for the past 2 decades.
Hell yeah.
I saw it as a little nod. I thought it was clever.
It set the tone, I think. I mean, it's not. It didn't blow my fucking socks off when I saw it, but I was like, all right, I'm in for a dingy bathroom. This game's going to be dingy.
That fits. I get you.
And boy, was it dingy.
Guys, this remake is so gorgeous. Oh my God. It's
It honestly
beautiful.
looked way better than I thought it was going to.
I mean, I remember all the trailers you were showing me before, and I was like, "Oh, buddy, I don't know." But it does look the finished product looks a lot better.
It really does. There's a lot of light artifacts that are happening, like with puddles and shadows. There's a lot of flickering, weird shit going on.
Yeah, on performance mode especially, but...
Yeah. Did we all play in performance mode?
Yes.
I did for the second half of the game.
Interesting.
I felt that 30 frames per second was more like film quality. And at first I thought that's what I wanted, but then I put on performance mode and I'm like,
I tried dabbling in it for a little bit, and then I don't know. When you have 60 FPS or something close to it, trying to go back to it like very quick is kind of tough. Like if I started 30 frames and I had no choice, I could have gone through it and been absolutely fine. But
yeah, that's
because
what
I have that option, it's like, I'm going to choose it every time.
All right, so before we get too much farther, I want to give you guys some options here. Okay, we have 2 paths that this podcast can go.
2 difficulty modes?
I wouldn't say difficulty modes.
Okay.
It's more just a choose your own adventure. Okay,
Right.
there's two ways this can go. Because I know you guys have been really looking forward to this. Silent Hill 2 is like your favorite fucking game, and I'm really excited for you guys. And you've been waiting like all year for the remake, and you just want to gush and have a great time here. And I don't want to spoil that because this is one of the worst fucking games I've ever played in my life.
Oh my
I really had a
God.
bad time.
I was so worried this was going to happen.
I've got so your 2 choices are I will leave right now. I'll just order some food. I'll go in the other room and just hang. You guys can gush and just talk about the whole game and just enjoy yourselves fully like I want you to. And then when you're like almost ready to score, do the final review, call me back in. I'll just shit all over the room. Okay? We'll do it that way. Option B, I stay. You leave me here, and as you're like gushing and having a good time, I'm just gonna be just absolutely just jabbing you, just absolutely just fucking nonstop, just hating of this fucking thing you made me buy and play for hours, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
What happened to you in your life?
Yeah. I played great games, had good time, great childhood, awesome adventures all the time. And then you made me play this game.
I'm actually really interested in this, to tell you the truth.
I am. I honestly think this is good because
You've sealed your fate.
I can't fucking believe you just said it was one of the
Here I
worst
am.
games you've ever played.
It's
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
This sucks. This fucking sucks.
All right, so where do we start?
I don't even know. That's just a big bombshell.
I'm in shock now.
No, I actually really like this because
do I.
there are 2 ways to talk about this game, right? And there's the nostalgic kid gushing about what he's got in front of him now, and then there is someone who wants to play a modern survival horror game who got this. You know?
Yeah.
And that's where you're coming from.
That's what I got.
imagine.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get it because I loved to play this, but I'm not without my critiques, right? And most of them are about the way that this stacks up in a modern setting. So
Yeah, for sure.
I feel you.
All right.
I'm livid. I'm burning bright with anger, but I feel you.
Well, just you wait till I get into these notes.
How many pages you got there?
I've got about 4. Well, I'd say let's just start with, right as simply like what you see when you turn on. Let's start with the visuals. You know what I mean?
All right, so
Let's start
visuals,
Because I can't see shit. I absolutely can't see anything. That is gonna be like the worst grade flashlight on the fucking market.
Yeah,
like
the
that is
flashlight
whoever bought that flashlight bought it off Temu, and it is just absolute trash, dude. I can barely see what's in fucking front of me.
That's the point.
And the fact that they give you the option to turn it off, because your just eyes are closed. You're right, like you can't see anything without it on. So why give me the option to accidentally click the stick in and then to be like, well,
I'm going to feed into your complaint here, because the fact that you can accidentally turn it off is fucking amazing. Because you know how many times that would happen to me in the midst of
and you're
combat?
panicking.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Perfection.
For sure.
I actually like that a lot.
I totally get
Do
that
I
approach.
think the flashlight should have extended maybe another 3 feet?
Just a couple
Yeah.
inches, dude. Oh my God, it goes
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere. And everything is already so fucking foggy.
We need to acknowledge the fact that the fog was definitely, since Silent Hill 1 was a way for them to hide imperfections in texture mapping
Totally.
and all of that stuff.
Draw a
So
distance,
it
pop up.
it kind of accidentally became a vibe for Silent Hill. So that's why they went a little overboard in this game. A little bit. I mean, I still love it. It brought me back to where I wanted to be.
I disagree. I think the fog was so tasty.
Fine.
I thought it was
can't really
great.
see dick. So I don't know. So I guess more than like spooking me, being like, oh my God, like I don't know what's like go around. I was more just like, I don't know where I'm fucking going. Like,
Were you on edge or creeped out by anything in this game?
no.
Let's talk about how you played it. Where were you? What were you doing?
Okay.
I was at home alone, lights off, headphones on.
The whole 9.
Yeah, so overall, I mean, though, the graphics were good. Like, I would say they were maybe like a slight grade under like Resident Evil 4, but it's about the same like style graphics. They were pretty good. The only things I had like issues with are like there were a couple scenes that were supposed to be like really like gross, like, oh, what is that? And it was like I couldn't even tell what it was. So that I would like you guys to fill me in if you know what this scene is, because there's a scene in the hospital where like he pulls some bed sheets back, but it sounds like wet and sticky. Like it's not the sound you expect it to make, like a piece of cloth would make. It's just like, and he pulls back the bed sheet, and then he like reels back like, oh, what is that? And then like you look at it, and I'm like, I don't even know what that is. It looked like peach slices. And it was just like a mess.
Just peach rings.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was supposed to be like big maggots or something, because it was still, there was no animation. It was just like, I don't know, someone just like
don't remember this.
build their food.
I remember the scene. I
think it
it's
was where you get
supposed
the
to be-
bracelet in there.
It's one of the medical bracelets.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be indeterminate gore, right?
Yeah, just like somebody melted into the bed or just guts.
I feel like it's kind of a little unfair at times to compare it with the QC of, say, Capcom,
Sure.
where Capcom's a fucking massive heavy hitter, and Konami was just like, hey, here's some money to this company that literally had no business.
Yeah, and like I
Attacking
said,
this game?
it's not far off from
And
the Resident Evil games.
Spoiler alert, I don't think anyone could have done a job better than this. Like, this was kind of an impossible task for this game.
I think it's inherent in this conversation to talk about how faithful it was to the original, how it differs from that, and what that does to this game, right?
Sure.
Because little visual tricks like you're talking about there resemble exactly what it looked like on PlayStation 2.
Right, yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so when you're looking at a company who did a faithful, well, in some ways very faithful port, things like that didn't bother me in the slightest, because
Right, 'cause you
same
expected,
as a lot of like the stilted kind of like Lynchian dialogue is like that's the way it exists. Like it exists in this surreal space. Looking at it as someone who doesn't have a love affair with the original, I get it. I get it. Same as a lot of awkward character movement, and some of the direction of some of the cinematics are not they're not what you would call top of the line modern job doing this, right?
Yeah, you're right. I would say they were trying to be as faithful as possible to the original. I think they hit that mark.
The liberties they did take, though.
Like what? I want to hear it.
First off, like with script, they obviously needed to change quite a bit in this
Yeah,
game.
there needed to be more dialogue.
Yeah, more dialogue, less jank in the dialogue. Just they made it so human, and it's incredible. Like the famous pizza line, for example.
There were a lot of little moments like that paid a lot of little moments that paid tribute to the original like that in there. And a lot of, I don't know if I would call it necessarily tongue-in-cheek, but dark humor to it that the original didn't quite have, because I don't know that the original was able to be that advanced about it. Like,
Sure, yeah.
down in the prison, when Eddie says that he's just joking about having murdered that person,
Oh, God.
and he walks out the door, and you immediately go pick up a health drink that corpse is holding, and as soon as you grab the health drink, its face just falls off, like instantly. You know, or being in a blood spattered room that's just like absolute, you know, horror movie schlock, just like covered in blood everywhere, and the item you find is a can of red paint.
Yeah.
You know, it just
That was very nice. I did like that.
All right.
So what's this pizza line that you're all worked up about? Like, what is? Like what? Like, well, tell because I don't know what the original pizza line was.
The original pizza
Like,
line was
what's the deal here?
you eventually you meet Eddie again in the Bolorama in the original.
Not the theater.
Bolorama. Is it called Bolorama?
Yeah.
Pizza Bolorama?
It's a
I was
bowling-
immediately
it's a
thinking
bowling
every time I
alley.
die, I eat Bolorama.
Yeah.
But anyway, the second time you meet him is in the Bolorama, and he's hanging out with Laura, and he's eating pizza,
Yeah.
and there's like some dead guy. And James goes, like, how can you just sit there and eat pizza? But like, Eddie's not in the Bolorama in this one, but the pizza's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And he does comment, like, there's just a pizza box with like pizza. And he's like, how could someone just sit here and eat pizza? And so it's kind of just
Oh,
like
see-
calling back to the original.
Oh, see, I didn't take it that way because he says
yeah,
like
because he didn't play the fucking game.
No, because I'm saying he says I see you got your appetite back or something because he was barfing in the last scene. So I took it as like, yeah, he feels better now. So it's a very different feel from like, oh, you feel better now to like, oh, you're eating pizza next to a corpse. Like, that's a very different.
That's the positive change, because that line was so poorly delivered in the original game. He's like, "There's monsters out there, and you're here eating pizza." It's so bad.
just bad voice acting.
But now they just made it way more natural and in good taste. So
that feels like a big change to me.
it is a big change, but in the
It
right
is.
direction.
It's
Why-
like
why the
if,
right
if they were to
direction,
if they
though?
were to do like a right now remake of the first Resident Evil, and if Barry saves Jill from that room, it doesn't say you were almost a Jill sandwich, people are gonna be pissed.
Yeah, then the game's ruined.
Exactly. So
Right.
that's what this part is.
But they took it out and changed it. So isn't that
No,
bad?
but they're calling back to it.
He still says it in the Bolorama, just not to Eddie.
He doesn't say it to Eddie's face.
it's a bit wild.
You saw that. Anyway, we're talking too much.
yeah,
we
yeah,
can't just
yeah.
sit here and eat pizza. So
Yeah, I'm getting the sense that this game is very backloaded.
oh,
So,
100%.
Yeah, so I'm having a terrible time and I don't want to play anymore. But it sounds like everything will make sense, and I'll start being like, oh, Eddie was breathing cold air in the theater because he's in the free. Like, whoa! But like, I don't want to play it anymore.
As much as they want to say that it is made to bring it into the new age, this is not. This is made for us.
Yes.
It is not like, and I mentioned this in our previous little short video. I really don't think this is made for people like you.
No, can't confirm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is a big misstep on their end.
maybe.
And we'll get there.
To be clear, I love this game.
yeah, but
I
you
love
love the
it too.
original. That's
I
what you just
adore
said.
this game.
We all want to
That's
go on
what
the
he just
record as
said.
saying that Eric's opinion is not what we endorse here.
Yeah, we do
Obviously.
not. I love this game. I think it is a resounding success.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely faithful
And
to the
I
original.
would want nothing more than Team Bloober to make more Silent Hill games.
Yeah, I want to see the first one now.
I'll sign off on it.
I'm thrilled. I'm in love with this game. I know where you're coming from.
Oh, don't worry about me.
Yeah. And criticisms about its pacing are valid, and criticisms,
100%.
you know, it does not seem thoroughly modern, and that's kind of what I adore about it. It's a faithful love letter to the original, which is exactly what I wanted to experience. And the ways that it is modernized, I mean, the sound design and particularly the haptics, which I want to talk a lot about, I think are the most effective modernized things here, right? And that it's glorious. Like, I would go as far as to say that if you're not playing this with headphones on, with a PlayStation 5 controller, you are missing 30% of what makes the game work.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The regardless of what you say, Eric, this is
that
probably
makes
some of the
sense.
most incredible, minute sound design I've probably heard in a game. Just everything just sounds. I don't know how they got this many sounds. There's so many sounds in this game. I don't fucking get it.
It's so killer.
Dude, like, honestly, one of my favorite parts, and are you in Otherworld Hospital?
Yeah, I think I'm just about done with it. Yeah.
I fucking, when you first get into Otherworld Hospital, not to mention the looks, the sound, I just fucking loved it so much.
Yeah, dude. Everything's so metallic and rusted, and it sounds
There's
just
some
so...
little hint of a song that's happening when you first start and you're in the room with when you're in the room with the box with the 3 locks on it. And then you start going like towards the like flesh fucking curtains that are, so there's some like hint of a song that's happening that I really, really enjoy.
Yeah, that's right where I stopped. I tried to like pound as much as I could last night to get through the hospital or whatnot, and I opened that box with the 3 chains, and then I got the elevator key. That's where I'm at.
So anyway, speaking of Resident Evil combat in this game, when I romanticized the original, around that time, survival horror, it always looked at like 2 sides of the same coin, right? You know, Resident Evil was kind of run and gun. You had a lot of obvious scares. You had a lot of horrifying things you were dealing with, but
They had a lot of weapons too in Resident Evil. A lot more.
Rocket launchers. You had a wide variety.
guns, yeah.
Yep.
Grenade launchers with 3 different rounds. Yeah. At
Silent
least.
Hill, you had a pipe.
Yeah.
You had a 2x4.
With nails.
Yes.
With nails.
And you tried not to use them. You know, in the original, I used to run away from almost every fight. I did not fight these creatures. I went and hid in the corner, or I, grabbed my item and I got out of there. This one's not like that so much. You're forced to engage all the time, maybe too much for my liking.
Too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
And it felt interesting. What do you think?
I used the pipe. Like, once I got the pipe, it was like I think I shared my my final screen. My favorite was a steel pipe, and I killed like only 60 enemies with weapons and like 340 with the steel pipe.
Yep.
That's
Got
that's
right around
where
the
I'm
same
at.
stat.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, because like, why use anything else? I don't want to waste ammo. Because like, I'm coming from these Resident Evil games and stuff, so I want to conserve. So what I usually do is like, I'll pop once or twice and then just steel pipe, right? To like knock them down, keep them down, kind of thing. But I was eventually finding that like, you don't need to do that like at all, because I currently have 76 bullets, 5 syringes, and 14 health drinks.
You will get rid of those. You
Okay.
absolutely will
Yeah.
get times where
All right.
those
There
are
was
gone.
there was a
Okay,
point where I
because
had
I'm like-
15 syringes, and one area got me down to 0 health.
I finished the
Zero.
game
So
with
I was like, when am I going to start playing this
Oh,
game? dude?
don't
This
you
is
worry,
ridiculous,
bud, yeah.
dude. 5 syringes and 14 health drinks.
honestly, you're
Never once in a Resident Evil game have I ever had 76 bullets, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, I had 80 something.
crazy.
So you had even less than I did. And I thought I was being
I was gonna
concerned.
say you're in for one of the areas that I like the least. Right after this, but I know you're not.
perfect.
I know you're not going to play this
Great
game
timing.
anymore after today.
Oh,
so there's really no point.
That sounds like the perfect next area for me.
Well, it's the Otherworld town part. I thought was long-winded. There's like fucking so many enemies, and it's
But you can run past all of them.
Yeah, especially
can.
outside. That's that's how I started. Like the game was like, there's
I-
no reason to fight anybody outside. That's like
I
a
ended this
waste.
game with my screen a little red with 0 health stuff. Like I just scraped by.
Just made it.
I was at that spot, side B of the game all the time. I was like, fuck, dude. I need to find another
I
drink.
had a lot of ammo though.
Yeah.
I did not.
But I used it in like towards the end. Like there are some rooms you go in and there's 3 like mannequins and nurses, and it's like I'm using guns.
Yep.
I'm pulling out the shotgun and I'm going for it.
Yeah.
But mandolins, I was using the rifle on their feet through the grates. Yeah. There's enemies called mandolins that are.
Oh, okay. I thought you misspoke saying mannequin. You're just like the fucking man.
No, there's mannequins and there's mandolins.
Okay.
I didn't kill a single one of those until I had to in the fireplace room in the hotel.
Yeah.
That was the only one I actually went out of my way to kill.
Yeah.
I actually found that having them be present in the game earlier on the grates meant that when you had to face off against them in a room, it didn't really do anything for me. You know, I was not frightened by those boss fights.
Well, I feel like that's the first time you actually see them, though.
Yeah. Well, I fucked with them. I shot off all their feet before because they stabbed me through the grates a bunch and it scared me a lot. So I didn't want to deal with that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're lip feet.
Not fan.
You haven't seen a mandolin yet, but it's this very like
I've seen the same 3 enemies over.
it's like what's that Flaming Lips album with the
Oh, what, the Yoshimi cover?
yeah, maybe. I don't know. But it looks like
Yoshimi battles the pink robots.
yes, yeah, it's like the pink robot from the Flaming Lips cover. It's kind of like one of those, but like on the tops of their hands and feet are lips. And they climb on cages and stuff.
You did bring up another negative we got to cop to, though. Enemy variety.
But I
Not a
mean,
ton.
would you have been upset if they introduced new enemies?
Potentially.
That's what I'm saying. I thought
Potentially.
about that too, because I agree.
makes sense.
There was a lot of padding in this game. I didn't want there to be. So that naturally means they had to put a lot more enemies because it's padded out quite a bit.
Wonder why they padded it though, just for like playtime.
I mean,
Modern game.
it's a 10-hour game normally, like 8 to 10 hours.
Should we get into this?
Because Resident Evils are like super short. That's why
Not
they always have
that
like the
short,
speed
though.
run trophies and the like you know they want you to play them like 5 times.
Yeah.
So like that would make sense to me. Honestly, I would have preferred it.
I honestly, I would have preferred it too.
Same.
I think
Because the padding is
how-
honestly what made it so much worse for me is that like that apartment complex was a
It's a
fucking
lot.
nightmare for
if there
me.
wasn't padding, you would have been into like the meat of the game at this point.
That's
And
what
you
I'm saying.
You might have had a slight. I mean,
Right. Well, maybe I would have
I'm not
started.
sold that you'd have a different
Sure,
opinion.
but I might have started getting into the like, oh, now I understand what's going on kind of things,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, that's what I
But,
loved. One major thing I loved about the original is the pacing was excellent.
yeah,
And this
100%.
this padding,
It's an 8 to 10 hour game. The
yeah,
original.
this
that's how-
padding
yeah, that's
is
how it should be.
completely changed
how it
the
should be.
pacing of this game, and not for the better, unfortunately. But that's the only major tick that I have against this remake. All my other ones are just like nitpicks.
It is my major takeaway from this is that this atmosphere is so wildly oppressive and depressing and disgusting that being put through this much of it kind of loses its
It
impact.
desensitizes you, right?
Yeah.
So you're just kind of like, oh, because
It's kind of The Last of Us Part 2, like
I mean that
where it's like that game
yeah.
is so depraved, but when it's 30 hours of it, it's kind of just like,
Yeah, like, okay,
I'm
let's-
like kind of done in this headspace. Like
so bleak, I'm exhausted.
exactly, and I think this game suffers a little bit for that. But I applaud them for giving, because when I first heard that this game is like an 18, 20-hour game, I was stoked. But then like halfway through it, I'm just like, this is a lot. Like to kind of be soaked in this atmosphere, because this entire story is just depressing and sad and gross, and I think it works well in a shorter burst.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It leaves a more impact. Because at the end of it, I was like, this is over, and I'm kind of glad to be done playing it. Like, I've had my fill.
Well said. Yeah.
No, it makes sense because I got to say, like, a lot of the times where like James loves sticking his arms into things for
Oh, yeah.
for,
He loves
for
holes,
close
dude.
to no like not even being
Oh,
provoked.
you don't even know, dude.
I
He
don't.
hasn't gotten to the holes. He has
I'm
not
just
even
saying,
jumped
This
in the
guy
hole.
loves holes,
I
dude.
know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like he's not even provoked in the slightest. Like it's not like he's out of options and there's a hole in the wall with goo coming out of it. He's just like he just walked in and he's like,
What's that?
everybody's like, there must be something in here.
You see
dude."
this?
And it
I'm
just
gonna put my hand in there.
yeah, but it just got to the point where like I would walk into a room and be like, yeah, because of fucking course you would. Just yeah, what? Go ahead, yeah, put your hand in that because that's the first thing I would think to do if I'm in a fucked up place with monsters and yeah, no, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Dude, when you get to the prison, dude, you just see holes in the floor, and James is like, oh, I'm going in there.
Right, but that's like
And he's like, dude, the sound design when he's about to jump down those, the first time when he's about to like jump into a hole. It's just like an abyss, and he's just like, and like you have to press X
so
again,
much,
and he's
man.
like creeping over the edge, and he's just like having a fucking panic attack, and all you can hear is his breath, and it's so sick.
So I think there are two really awesome things at play with those kind of interactions, right? Because it's the same thing with a hole, and we didn't state this clearly, but anyone who hasn't played it, you have to really want to look in that hole, because the first time you have your interact button, you go what, forearm deep? The second time you have to press X.
Yeah, you just have to keep doing, yeah.
Third time,
Like, you're in
shoulder.
the drain part,
and then
dude,
you're
yeah.
in here, face pressed against a wall, rooting around to finally get to your objective.
It's a 3-knuckler.
Yep. Same thing jumping down the holes. And at every juncture, every time that you have to commit to this decision, it gets more and more intense. Now, you didn't give a shit, but I love that.
No, yeah, well, it was just
Well, it was a thing in the original where it was like it kept you on edge. You didn't know if something bad was going to happen, and that was a thing that they were getting you in that era of survival horror. Resident Evil did it all the
that
time.
makes sense, totally. But like with this one, it was always just like I ended up with a key, like every time. So it was like I was never worried about the hole. I'd be like, yeah, just fucking stick your hand in, and he would be like, no, just put it in. And no, just get the key, and they'd be like, all right, yeah, I got the key, and like, but nothing would ever happen. He wouldn't get grabbed. He would like. So it just, every hole I came across, I was just like, all right, yeah, I would do the thing, like, go for it. So it didn't have like the, like what you were describing with the hole where he's all like panicky and stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't happening when he was reaching in. Like,
no, but like
you
that
were kind of
sounds
doing
sick.
that and not him.
Yeah,
but
that
when you get to the
sounds
holes
cool.
where you're jumping in, like, and it does it a lot. There's got to be like 10 holes this guy jumps in, like.
But I also
love
think
the
like for
commitment to
him
the
to.
bit.
Oh,
I
yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think like for him to actually start panicking at that point in the game, I probably as playing it would be like, now you're worried about it? You just like after all the holes I saw you stick your hand in, now you're like, oh, I don't know about this one.
Well,
That's
he's
crazy.
jumping in this abyss. It's not a
I've
hole.
already jumped in so
know.
many holes, dude.
Oh, but to be fair, the prison is the fucking
Just
scariest
the
part of this
descent
game.
to the prison
Oh,
Yeah,
is
all right.
holes on holes on holes, man.
Because you're just like, what do you mean I go further down? How is there a further down?
Yeah, but James just keeps going and going, and like you're right. There's like 10 of them, and then you.
Yeah, the prison is just like littered with those.
Oh man, dude, it's just like, all right, dude, we're this far. Fuck it, let's go.
So I mean, I felt so captured by the atmosphere that when he was in positions like that, it was this like visceral fear within me. Like, okay, all right, we're going further. All right, we're going further. So every time that there were those kind of commitments, it built more for me.
Well, you're also feeling like you're getting lost, which is that I think that's kind of the feeling they're trying to invoke, where it's just like, yeah, you have this map and you've been pretty comfortable knowing kind of where you are within the world, that you just jumping down into places kind of, I don't know.
That's kind of in the dreamlike nature of it too, though, that like
Yeah,
no matter
exactly,
what,
yep.
he's going to go deeper. He's going to go deeper no matter what. When anyone would go, man, all I did to get here was walk through a graveyard. Like, I can turn the fuck around. Like,
It was blatant
my wife's
symbolism.
dead. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I can leave.
And that's what was so weird about it to me. I think maybe if they gave him some more dialogue or like, just like, with modern games where they kind of talk to themselves as you're doing something, it might have helped it along with like just how persistent and like relenting he is.
I think they fought against
Because-
that, and I applaud them for
it's
it.
probably because they want to keep it like the original, which is fine. But for me coming in, it's like he always has such a dead, like uninterested, like fucking I'll do this next, I guess, face on that. Like you don't get the same impact of like, oh no, I'm sticking my hand in that hole because I'm not gonna stop. Versus like,
This is a video game,
Well, can I ask, would you have been more sold if it were more Last of Us in that vein? You know what I mean? Where it's more stark and more brutal reactions to the way things are going.
probably, yeah. I mean, I understand that they probably want to convey that he's psychotic and this stuff doesn't phase him the way it should phase him, but you can portray that with others reacting and he's not, or like you then make the environment speak for you to portray how he's not reacting.
That's where the problem lies, I believe.
Yeah.
No, don't celebrate that.
Yeah. You agree with me.
That's where your problem lies,
You all
man.
heard him agree.
The people around him aren't just people. So they're not going to react in the way that would be like, whoa, that's weird.
Right, but I don't know that.
You didn't finish the game, so.
But that's also what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that because it's so backloaded, it's like, why would I finish the fucking game? I have no idea what's happening.
So you can have an idea of what's happening.
Well, here's the thing.
You gotta make a good game if you want me to do that.
This goes to the issue of this game being very long.
Yeah.
Is that in the original, you're experiencing the
I would
same
have already
thing.
gotten there, yeah.
Like you're 8 hours in, and you're finally realizing, like, oh, this is why it's this. You know, he's indifferent to everything. This is why Laura doesn't see monsters. And she's not scared to go anywhere. This is why Angela thinks that you're her fucking mother all the time. Mama? Oh no, it's you. It's these people aren't just people.
Yeah.
That are just in the town for any reason. Some of them aren't real. I guess, right? Who knows?
I
Who
would
fucking
say
knows?
so.
This game is very ambiguous. Even
Makes
the story
sense,
is.
yeah.
I want to talk map and level design at some point, but we might have already skewered it.
No, we should
point.
definitely do that.
I think
So,
we could talk about
we can briefly touch on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I am the type to get really lost in getting all the last little details, right? So put me in front of a map that shows every door in the fucking world, and it's a living map that reacts to what I touch and go to. I'm going to go, that door on the second floor all the way in the corner doesn't have a scribble on it, doesn't have jagged lines through it.
Let's go check that door.
I'm going to go find it. You know?
Absolutely.
And once you start decoding the way that James marks up the map when you discover certain items, you start realizing, like I didn't know at first that a scribbled out door with a circle around it meant, okay, you've got the key for this door, or you'll find the key for this door at this point. This isn't just a blockade. This is something that you will solve with a puzzle down there. Helps you kind of keep track of the flow. And the way that the levels are laid out, you are always, without it feeling linear, cycled back to the area that you need to be once you've completed the task that you need to.
Level layout is fantastic. I like the way, because these maps aren't one-to-one to the original game. Like the hospital isn't the same hospital. Like there are rooms that look similar, and like that 3 locked box that you're in right now. That was not in a main hub. That was in one of like the hospital rooms in the original game. But it was a 3 locked box back in the original. But I think the way it led you around and brought you back and led you into certain areas was very nice. I liked it a lot. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, my favorite map of any survival horror game, for sure, 100%.
I back that so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we talked about it then.
One of my favorite parts was in the labyrinth section where there are a bunch of ladders, where it was marking the ladders on your
like 1
map,
through 7,
ladder
right?
1, 2, 3, 4, so you know when you were hitting certain ladders and going to, because it was like a 3-tiered thing with all these ladders.
Oh, that part was so difficult for me to get
was
past because
frustrating.
I was so scared.
It was tough.
Because I didn't remember exactly where you run into Pyramid Head again, and now you're in his turf.
Yeah, you're in his fucking room, dude.
And
In Pyramid
that
Head's
whole
fucking
time-
room.
Yeah, that whole time I was just like, I know he's around here somewhere, but I can't remember exactly where. I was just like, oh, let's go down ladder 4. Let's go down ladder 3. Just like, and then when he finally, dude, it was so terrifying.
So
Follows you around that circle. Ugh.
Dude, there's gonna be so many like video cuts of Eric just like,
Well, was Pyramid? I gotta ask. Like, was Pyramid Head like more menacing in like the original?
oh yeah,
Like,
oh yeah.
there are a lot of reasons for that. One that we haven't touched on at all is the change in camera in this one, and I
Yeah.
think that the forced perspective of most of the original actually is something that this game suffers for.
What do they call it? The Dutch angles, right?
I haven't heard that phrase, but I'll take it. Why not? I mean, when you think about like, this is kind of a funny segue, but the Silent Hill movie, like what it did right, what it did that wasn't disgraceful. The very first thing that came to mind is in the beginning of that movie, the camera angles like directly mimic the production of the original 2 games.
Yeah.
And that's totally lost in this one, right? You know, like later on, the battle with the 2 Pyramid Heads, like it's burned into my brain the exact angle that camera was at when they just impale themselves on the very end. And like that angle, like looking down on that scene, is something I'll never ever forget this time around.
Yeah, okay. Because I was curious about that because, like, I know Pyramid Head is such a, like, you know, crazy character for everybody. He's, like, the scariest dude ever. And I came into this game being like, oh, Pyramid Head's gonna fuck me up, dude. And then he showed up and I was like, this guy's not even tall, dude. This guy, like, he's not that big. He's kind of a little guy. He's not, like, I was like, okay, I guess. And then, like, you know, he's just kind of in the background and shit. So I'm like, all right, I don't even have to even like interact with him. And then when you do the boss fight, you like encounter him, and you don't have to fight him. I didn't use a single bullet. You just walk in a circle.
You did it correctly then.
That, you know how much fun I had? Just I'm like, this is fucking Pyramid Head, dude. Here we go. And then I'm just like,
It's not a combat game, which sucks that there's so much combat in this game.
walking around in a circle. But it just like, it wasn't
You're
even,
not
like,
you're not supposed to know that you don't have to fight him.
No, I didn't. It just like, it felt like one of those time battles.
You didn't just be like, well, let's see what happens if I just don't attack him.
I did because like I didn't want to waste ammo on him. I didn't want to waste ammo on him.
What? In what game you're just like, let's try not shooting this enemy?
Because because he was like hulking, and a lot of like those Resident Evil stuff's like it's a fight you can't win, and I'm just gonna waste ammo, and then it's a time thing anyway, and then I'm like, oh, I'm glad I fucking wasted like 20 rounds on a dude I didn't have to.
But those fights are good though?
Well, they're done in a better
that's
way.
exactly what this boss battle was.
No, because there's a lot more going on. It's chasing you, or it's gonna catch you. Like
We're fighting, dude.
just walked in a circle, but like there's a point where like the steam goes off, or there's like a horn or something.
The siren,
yeah, and that kind of cued me like, oh, this is like a timed thing. So then I just pushed it to see like,
Yeah, it's kind of like Resident Evil 4 Village.
yeah.
Where
So,
it's, but
yeah,
I
was
do
like,
gotta
wow,
say
that was a
that
cool first
I didn't entirely love that first Pyramid Head fight, because the original one you are in close quarters.
Oh, yeah.
You're in like just this one little concrete room that like I think you just climbed a ladder up, and then he just like is there, and you're just like in this L. It's like the fucking Capra demon where it's just like there's nowhere to go, and like
sounds much better.
Well, they had one of those memory secrets
The little
in that exact
vignettes.
room where it like actually reflected on the boss room. And there's
Yeah.
a dead James there.
Yeah, it took me way too long to realize what those memory sequences were. You know, just like the slow zoom in, the thing.
Eric's like, what's the fucking point then?
dude. Well, no, sorry.
If you didn't recognize it, what the fuck about
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but as a new fucking player, the memory sequences, like, it fucking zooms in on just like a broom and then just like plays music, and it's like, look at this, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, is there like a code or password or something? Like, what am I supposed to look at? It's just a fucking broom. Like, what the fuck is? And then you just
it caught me
then
like that a few
nothing
times, too.
happens, and then you walk away, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? And it just keeps happening of just like absolutely like this, just this wall, and like, great,
Yeah,
I like,
game was made for
and
us. Game was made for us, not you. Yeah.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just bad like communication, because like I didn't know it was supposed to be a memory. I only knew because I was looking at like a walkthrough as to like how fucking long is this game, and it said, you know, like you find a memory here, and I'm like, oh, that's so okay. So they're actually like pieces of his memory that probably piece together some story. But like I had no fucking idea, dude. I'm just looking at a broken fence.
That's fair. Hey,
It's fair.
that is pretty bad communication.
But hey, game wasn't made for you.
I don't think that's true. I think
No, it's true.
Let's talk about the story. I'm dying to
story?
know, especially you. We haven't really talked about this game.
Oh,
yet.
wait, hold on. First, I want to say one thing about Pyramid Head again. I didn't see him behind the bars in the apartment.
You
I
didn't?
No, I never. I just didn't go back. I guess it didn't. I never saw him.
The sequence never. All right,
The one where you just like where you can see him like through the bars. It's
Yeah.
not like
Oh,
a
yeah.
like
Yeah.
a sequence. You just walk by like the bars and you can kind of just see him.
Yeah.
I never got to that part, so I was kind of bumming because I know it's still there, but I just didn't experience it. But in the labyrinth where like where you get the wire cutters and you cut the fence. When you go through that fence and you go down into the ladder, because like it's like a red room with the fence, You go down the ladder. The camera swings around. Pyramid Head is right there behind that fence, just fucking staring at you. And I was like,
Terrified.
yes, this is what I wanted. I got what I needed.
Actually,
Because I wasn't like, I was expecting the one in the apartments. I wasn't expecting that. And it got me and I was like, whoa, like, oh, fuck yeah. Just like bathed in red
Yes.
light. It was so sick.
I caught him. I happened to look at him right as I was far enough down the ladder that he exited the shot. And I was like, oh my God. Then I went back up the ladder to see if he was still there.
He's gone?
And I caught his blade just exiting the screen. It was perfect, dude. Ugh.
Some of the most chilling moments in this game are when something's walking away from you. Like over and over, the slithering straight jacket creatures.
God, yeah.
When you get mannequins just running away from you. A lot of the times when they have mannequins scurrying up the walls out of the way, like intentionally, it's just to freak you out. Like you're not going to see that mannequin again.
Yeah.
But
since Eric's not going to finish this game, in the prison, the mannequin, legs on bottom, legs on top,
Yeah.
they crawl on the walls and ceilings now, like spiders.
Yeah.
Like quick, like spiders.
That's cool.
And you have to shoot
fucked
them
up.
down to the ground.
Those things were the goofiest, but I got such a kick out of those. Like, it's a cool design. I think it's a cool idea, but they were like too easy to spot. Like, I wish they were.
Oh yeah, when they're hiding, I'm just like, oh, you motherfucker, I see you.
Dude, I would walk into an apartment and then I would like turn and there would be like a dining room table and then underneath it just like this mannequin, like, and it's not moving. Like my light is on it and it's just like he doesn't know I'm here. You can't see me, dude.
Dude,
I'm
it's
just
like the first scary movie when
like
when the killer's just like laughing, hiding under the.
It's funny, like you walk through that door and the mannequin's like this.
yeah, like up against the wall. Dude, so it cracked me up every time. So that was like my only point of relief where like every time I saw a dumbass mannequin thinking it was hiding. But on the other side of that with just being like, really, guy? Okay.
I liked it though. It gave me some comic relief. Sometimes where I walk into a room and I'm like, and I see it, I just like,
Yeah.
that's funny.
But
And then I shoot its leg, and then it comes out, and then
Yeah, but it is sick when you don't notice it. Like standing here, you come around a corner and then it fucking moves. It's like so it's a cool idea. I like it, but I just more often than not, I would find it like curled up under a table and just be like, "What are you doing?"
Can we get into story?
yeah.
All right, cool.
you hear people talk about like Samsara a lot, right?
Yeah,
and that
absolutely.
I think that's probably the closest thing that makes sense. It's why Eddie's always breathing vapor. It's
Sure.
why Angela's always. She only says it the one time, right? It's always like this for me. But
The
she's
flames, yeah.
Yes, but she's always making reference to being uncomfortable to the heat, right? And it just stands to reason that's where they died. The one thing I don't understand is where does Laura fall in that?
My theory is that she died in hospital, but she's so young and, for lack of better words, so pure that her world, her samsara, is nothing like everybody else's, because everybody else is, Eddie's a fucking serial murderer.
What'd Maria do?
Maria's not real.
Fuck. Then how come she get tired and take a nap? She not real.
Wait, really? You
She
need to
not
take those
real.
naps.
How do you
About
get
it.
tired if you're not real?
Yeah.
You get
Explain that.
Yo, fake people don't
Yo,
take
explain that.
It's like when you get tired in your dreams. You ever get tired in your dreams?
Nice.
You
Yeah.
ever have a dreams?
When I said that some people aren't real, Maria is essentially not real. I guess you could say there are theories that she's just this depiction of what James wanted Mary to be when she was on her deathbed for so long.
Makes sense. Yeah.
His selfish depiction of what he wanted. She gets killed.
How she die if she not real?
Several times.
Three times
Alright,
at
so
least.
how you get tired and how you die if you're not real?
You're not.
What the fuck, dude?
You just answered it.
She's the only one that dies that keeps coming back. So
Yeah, this whole time I was wondering because she goes to bed like the second you get to the hospital,
Yeah, she's like, yo, I'm tired.
and I've been in the hospital for what feels like fucking days.
You check up on her at all?
No.
all right, that means you're gonna get a different ending.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think I could. I thought
Well-
the door was locked.
Also, remember, no one else has interacted with Maria
Well, no
at
one
all.
else has interacted with anybody.
That's not true. Laura and Eddie interact with each other.
Yeah, sure.
Does anybody else interact with Angela?
I do not think so. I don't think Angela acknowledges Laura after the point where she says, "I haven't seen a little girl."
Yes.
I don't think she knows who Laura is. But this is the thing: is that like this game is pretty ambiguous. Like there's a lot of different takes on this. Some people think James killed his wife. Some people think that he actually didn't, and just his thought of wanting to is an admission of guilt.
What do you subscribe to?
I think he killed his wife as a mercy killing and also a selfish killing. And it happened a week prior to him getting to Silent Hill, not 3 years.
What makes you put the week timeline on it? I'm curious.
Laura,
When she says, I got the letter a week ago?
when she had her 8th birthday.
I think he buried the stuff so far down that he made it sound like it was 3 years ago.
That's PTSD for sure.
Yeah. I just think it's cool. There's a particular ending that I subscribe to as well.
Ooh, which
You
one?
got In Water, right?
Oh yeah, that's my ending.
I also got In Water.
That's I didn't get that ending this time, but that is my canon ending. for
And
sure.
that brings the knife back.
and that brings the bathroom.
I got a
back.
certain ending because of the knife.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, like, I looked at it a couple times. And I spent a lot of time hurt without being full health. So that certain things, certain parameters on how you play the game depend on, like, give you a certain ending of the game. And the endings are wildly different.
There are 8 this time around, right?
2 more than usual.
Yep.
Other very real.
So you
endings.
already know kind of the main part of the story anyway.
Not really. No,
mean-
I just know. I just know that you guys have said, like, it's a penance thing for him or whatever. But
Yeah.
I
So
don't know any more than that.
The main thing of the
Game sure
story
didn't tell me.
that's outside of subjectivity is that his wife Mary died of a terminal illness, right?
Yeah. They don't even tell you that thoh.
They do. Later.
Like-
Yeah.
Right,
She died
later.
of that damn disease 3
There's-
years ago. It's like right in the opening scene.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
There's cutscenes with him and her in the hospital.
It's hard
later.
to separate what you've got, what I remember from what you guys have told me,
Yeah.
and what I remember from
Sure.
what I just played.
Yeah.
but yeah,
So what you're
right.
saying is the
You're
game's
right.
working.
Yeah, they left the entire dialogue from the first game right at the beginning completely untouched and intact.
Yeah.
Because it's iconic. But yeah, so she was Mary had this disease that was terminal, and there was a lot of I don't even know how to explain this like, succinctly. You're better at this.
I don't know. I don't know if I am.
It's not complicated. It's just there's a lot of nuance to it. It's,
There's a lot of mixed feelings in that she spent a lot of her time in hospital knowing she was gonna die, and had a lot of like feelings of like those steps of grief, where a lot of it was tumultuous behavior and anger aimed right at James. There's even dialogue and very awesome sequences later in the game where you actually relive some of those arguments and her just lashings at you, basically. She says, like, why are you even here anymore? I'm so disgusting. Like, just leave me alone. Just, I hate you, and I know you hate me. Why are you even bothering with this thing? So James is harboring so much resentment that's basically transformed into hatred at this point. And
or you think
yeah,
Sure.
it's not explicitly clear how James feels.
Yeah.
it's also
It's
not
kind of
explicit.
him navigating that through the course of this game, and that's kind of what the whole point is.
And a lot of this game too is abstractly manifesting his sexual frustrations. So that's why you have a lot of these nurses. I mean, he was in this hospital probably fantasizing about these nurses specifically.
Sure.
You have Pyramid Head acting a very specific way to mannequins. It's all of these awful things he wishes he could probably do, but he can't because his wife is dying. Maria directly is him sort of implanting what he wishes his wife was, just a little bit more promiscuous and a little bit more sexy and
It's all stuff that isn't explicitly like spelled out for you. It's kind of just
Yeah,
like
and
you
and it shouldn't
dig
be.
for
And
it.
that- Yeah, it shouldn't be. And that, yeah, I mean, what I'm getting is that I just wish I had just played the original. I think like with the way that this is all drawn out and how long it is and the space in between, I probably could have got through the original one and then been on the other side and been like looking back like, oh, like this and like all these dots they connect.
Yeah,
But,
for
like,
sure.
With this, I'm halfway through and I'm so fucking over it. But like,
It's not the things that you're over are not going to get any better for you, dude. Unfortunately, that's
If you're
Maybe.
not sold on the
but
atmosphere,
it probably
unfortunately.
won't be as much of it. Where like I walked in like 87 apartments in that fucking complex.
Yeah,
and
it's
in
a
the
lot.
original, I probably only walked in like 25. Yeah, like maybe I could have handled that. That's not so bad. Like I got through 87, so 25 probably wouldn't have worn on me so bad.
the hotel's not going to be fun for you, my guy.
Well, I'm not gonna get that far.
No, you're not.
It's gonna be fine.
I think the hotels are bad.
I think another thing that's important, and it's also something I had no understanding of whatsoever when I first played this game. The way that you talk about James's sexual frustrations being brought up, that a lot of people talk about Pyramid Head as being an anima kind of figure, right? Like
I see Maria as being the anima, actually.
that brings Angela's story into a different kind of focus, right? And that's something. So Angela is a survivor of sexual assault, and that's the reason that she murdered her father. And that is something that it didn't register to me when I was younger. I didn't understand that was the theme here, that was going on. That's why
I didn't either. I was young when I played this, and I was old enough to understand, but I wasn't old enough to pick up on those cues.
Mm-hmm. And so it factors a lot into the way that she looks at James as a safe figure and is always calling you mama at first, right? And then immediately terrified by you. She doesn't want to be touched. She tries to pull the knife right away. And then when you see her home environment, or whatever the analogy is for her home environment there, it's frankly terrifying. I thought it was the most disturbing part of the game by a huge margin. And
Agreed.
The battle, I guess you would call it a boss battle with
Abstract Daddy.
Abstract Daddy, yes, that's the name. Which is probably the most grotesque figure in the entire
For
game.
sure.
Yeah,
in my
100%.
opinion.
For sure.
It's the form, Eric, is basically just like two bodies engaged in intercourse, wrapped in leathery, shitty skin covered in gore, and it's just a big wedge that just slams through the walls of like an abstract version of a home that's changing in front of you and falling apart. during
In
the battle.
very PT fashion.
That was symbolically the best section of this game.
Yeah.
Like that fight was wild.
It like actually
It was like
brought me
it was
to
a
tears.
it was a chase scene.
Yeah.
It was so sick. I loved it. It was beautifully done.
And I didn't wind up using this as much as I thought it was going to play into the battle, but that the only place to hide from him in the battle was her little, hiding place with a teddy bear on the floor and
Yeah.
her little blanket and crayons.
Little
and
scratched
whatever.
fucking room.
Yeah.
It was the only place to hide from.
awful.
I
It's
did use
so
that. I
awful.
think it's like the second phase where like that's how you get away scot-free. You just like beeline right for this hiding spot and you walk in and then you're able to, oh my God.
It was so disturbing.
Angela's
It was so
story is
crazy.
so crushing. It really is.
And then even just the way I interpreted, at least, coming back to the hotel, and all of a sudden the hotel is just embers, right? And pieces of it are falling apart. I just saw that just kind of abstractly tying into Angela's story because I'm not aware of narratively the hotel burning, right?
I think it kind of melds in with their story of burning her house down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and that's obviously shown in the way that all the lighting when you come back to the hotel in the other world is just amber lights through windows. You never catch a clear sight of it until you confront her in the stairwell.
Dude, the most beautiful lighting in this game, they save right for the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, the Otherworld Hotel is just like so
Unbelievable.
beautifully lit
Yeah.
in amber, like you were saying. It's just such like everything's kind of looking a little samey at times, and then you get there and it's just the whole light shifts. It's just entirely a different feel.
And the contrast between when you go into the basement the second time.
Dude, fuck that. And it's flooded? Fuck that,
Yep.
dude.
The first time you go down, you have to put all of your items aside because the elevator won't let you go down with a single other thing on you. No healing items, no weapons, no flashlight, no nothing.
Dude,
Or do you might
Big
have a flashlight.
nuh-uh section for me.
I was thinking they were probably 4 ninjas in stealth camo in that elevator with me, and that's why I wouldn't move.
Took you a minute to figure it out?
Otacon.
It is a Konami game after all, am I right?
So that brings
God.
me back to the bathroom and why it means a lot to me in this game.
Yeah, please.
Canonically, what I like to subscribe to in this game with the in water ending is that James kills himself. This is actually in the game. I don't know if you guys peeped in, but Mary.
After all that, after all the things he stuck his hand in.
No. Because he killed himself. The game.
Oh.
Did you guys peek in the car? In the beginning? His car.
No.
Mary's in the back seat.
That's fucking wild.
But in the original game, it was always Mary's in the trunk of the car. In the in-water ending.
In the fan theory, Laura's in the trunk.
Laura.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Not dead. Like alive. She hid in the trunk
Jesus.
to come to Silent Hill. To see Mary again. That's another fan theory.
But anyway, Mary's body is in the car. She's dead. He killed her.
Because she came home in like kind of a visit because she wanted to visit her house again and not die in the hospital.
Yeah.
So it wasn't exactly hospice. She kind of just expressed like wanting to be home, and I guess they were letting her go home. And so James decided to mercy kill her in the home by smothering her.
Yeah.
And then brought her to Silent Hill.
My theory. Yeah. He gets to Silent Hill with her in the backseat covered in a blanket. The bathroom is where he offs himself. The moment where he's touching his face and looking at himself in the mirror is engaging death dream. Like, we can't not talk about Jacob's Ladder, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've seen Jacob's Ladder, I take
Yeah.
it? And the whole movie is maybe 2 hours in real time, but he's in the process of dying. His brain is filling him with DMT, and he's just out to fucking lunch. But they say an actual like heaven or hell, your death dream will dictate how you sort of lived your life.
I guess one could say that your lifestyle determines.
I'm sorry.
This conversation's making me frantic. Tick.
Dude, I could not let that pass.
That's exactly like James Hetfield said it so succinctly. This game,
So he's just a big Silent Hill fan. That's all.
the game is literally your lifestyle determines your death style.
Raymond
He
had
kills
some
himself
kind of monster,
in that
you know?
bathroom. Maybe it takes him half an hour to actually pass over, but that half an hour is the entire dream of Silent Hill. That's his death dream. Like the first shot is you opening that bathroom door, and there you have it. That's like him starting his death, in my opinion, because DMT is running wild.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
And then immediately proceeds to the graveyard through which he enters Silent Hill. Crazy, huh?
But towards the end, when he finally accepts, what he's done, he's come to terms with it. He's not like inventing a lie anymore and beating himself up for it. Pyramid Head being like his need to punish himself because he's
an executioner.
exactly, yeah. Means that he can just finally pass, and that's the end of his death dream. And I think it's beautiful in a very twisted manner. The bathroom, it's a very important place.
So what ending did you get? You got leave?
I got the leave ending.
Okay.
Which one's leave?
It's when you leave with Laura, as if like you've adopted her. Yeah.
Because that's what Mary was telling Laura, because Laura was Mary's friend in the hospital. Did you get in water?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was one of the questions about that too, because Laura essentially just disappears.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess it's worth noting that when you're walking down the corridor and you're getting this like monologue by Mary, pretty much like you mentioned before, saying about how much she's disgusting and how much you hate her and she hates you and she hates everything and all this. And then, wow, that made it sound very insensitive the way I said that. But
Wait till you hear the way I say it.
She was saying that she wants to die, like, and just like, I don't want to be here anymore. But then, like, if you wait a few seconds, she ends up saying, like, no, like, I'm scared to die. I don't want to die. James, please don't leave me. Help me, help me. And then in the in-water ending, it's James in his car, pretty much just driving, like, leaving Silent Hill, and pretty much him saying, like, I can't live without you. I don't think I can live with what I've done. I know this is not what you want, but I can't live like this. And then you just hear like a car splash in the water, and then you see the note like go down and all that. But I think it's worth noting that, like, knowing that he got the note that Laura was hiding, or Laura lost, and even though she wished him like to go on, he was just like, no, I can't. And I think it's kind of just him just like, I think that's important to mention.
For
But
sure.
It's not just he
For
took his
sure.
life. Like,
Yeah.
he acknowledged before he did it that, like, she did not want him to do that. And he did it anyway. So,
All right, guys, it's time to summon Alexander for Divine Judgment. For my bonus stars, I talked about the game's sound design, which I found to be amazing. Just the atmosphere it dragged you through, the way it made you experience the world in a way I haven't felt in a game before. The haptics as well. I felt that the feedback in the controller, especially as it tied into the sound design itself, just really brought you to a different level with this game.
amen.
And also the voice acting, you know?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of it could be kind of stilted, but in the correct way to give that kind of, oh God, what's the word I want to use?
Lynchian.
Yeah, Lynchian is the easy way to say it. That kind of removed quality that all of the characters felt.
Yeah, it was stellar.
Yeah, my biggest drawbacks would be changed camera, some clunky animation, weird specularity, like the light things we were talking about before. My favorite part of the whole game, the prison. The tension was just so thick in that prison, like it broke the way that I played the game being in that prison. It was just, the atmosphere was so thick, I was afraid to proceed to the next room.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was so dense and overwhelming that I literally, like, I wound up changing my playstyle. I changed my combat level to light in the prison because the only way I could make myself step into the next room was to just run in. So
Yeah, it was terrifying for sure.
Like, yo, I'm only going to be here for a minute. Just let me go do my thing.
or I'm gonna run in and maybe survive the 8, nurses all at once. Yes. Replayability. I'll probably play this again on New Game Plus with a specific ending in mind. I did not have one that I was seeking this time through. Knowing especially that they're the two specifically made for the remake, I will probably have the goal of trying to reach one of those. I'll do that soon. Beyond that, I don't see myself coming back to this game for a long time. It was lovely, but I can let it sit and let it be in the library to pick up when I'm ready for it. That being said, I have to split my score up, right? I have 2 different ways I want to rate this game.
Oh, I love this.
Multiple endings.
Yeah.
What?
If we're talking about remakes, I would give this game a 9, 5, or 10 out of 10 as far as a remake goes.
Love to see it.
I think it absolutely captures everything that worked about the original in terms of atmosphere, in terms of tension, in terms of what made me remember that game for 23 years, Like, it's held a special place in my heart since I played it as a teenager, and not just because it's in the zeitgeist now, obviously, right? But it had the juice then, and this pays tribute to that lovingly and advances it in some great ways. As a modern game, it's got its flaws, I think as a modern survival horror title, while keeping all that in mind, the best I can give it is an 8, 7.58.
I
good
love
scores.
it. Yeah, great
scores.
stuff.
Disagree.
I'm shocked.
I mean, like you guys, this game means a lot to me. The original. So I'm just gonna flat out say, but my bonus star is Team Bloober. I gotta give them their flowers. Like they, like I mentioned before, they were tasked with an impossible task. Like there was no way. No one thought this game was gonna be of this caliber.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting this game to be half of what it was.
Wish it was
So,
half
yeah,
of what it was.
Hey, that is a good point.
Hey, it's not your turn.
Good point. My complaint is that I kind of wish this game was half of what it was.
Pacing, though. Pacing-wise. Not quality and love.
Yeah, I just want to give them their flowers because, like, you guys pulled something off that no one thought you could do, and that's worth an accolade or two. Things I didn't like about the game. It's too fucking long. This game is so long. It's bloated as hell. There's too much combat. It's too depressing and oppressive to be in this atmosphere for that long, to the point where everything kind of just starts to feel not so impactful, like I said before. Original game's a 10 out of 10. That's it. I will not step down from that. It is one of the most important experiences I've ever had in my life across any media. Changed the way I see games. I'm gonna give this remake a 7.5. So we give it a Fantano score. I'm gonna give it a strong 7, like 8.
7,
on this.
wow.
I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8. Happy guy. What about you? We're gonna save you for last, all right?
That's how you want to end this?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
dude. All right.
What do you want to do? No, let's throw negativity right at the end.
Sure.
Yeah. What about you?
I've got a bonus star for someone recently putting together a zero boundary patch and discovering in the Silent Hill Ranch, in the barn, lies a Silent Hill sign in Comic Sans and a heap of trash.
That's good.
That's a fucking bonus
good.
star.
Yeah, the HD collection that Konami released, like, what, maybe 12 years ago or something?
The dog shit HD collection.
Konami gave this team, like, the beta code for these two games. So they had to, like, fill in a lot of the, like, empty areas. So they shipped the game with the Silent Hill Ranch, but they put Comic Sans, and the game shipped like that. And it's like,
Great, though.
dude, it's
great because there's no way it was a mistake.
No.
no,
Like,
but
that's
this
great.
Konami was just like, they kind of gave them scraps, and they're like, yeah, I'd fucking do this, and they like did all they could. And then I think the Comic Sans is kind of like a fuck you for making us do this.
Yeah, that was a fuck you. It was good.
It's good.
So the
I'm glad they kept
actual
it.
Silent Hill Ranch sign was gorgeous, not Comic Sans, but I love that boundary break fashion. Someone went inside of the actual ranch, and in a heap of trash lies the sign in Comic Sans.
Because they knew that people were going to boundary break. Like one of the videos I saw recently was of like, what does Angela do after walking up that staircase? And it was just like she walks up the staircase and then she's just like, the staircase is just like burning. Like it's
No, things I hated. I agree with everyone. The game was way too padded, so that naturally means there's way more enemies to fight, and there's just too much combat, too much padding. It was a little exhausting. Fuck you, The Last of Us 2. Empty drawers. I can't fucking stand empty drawers.
I'm ready to pace, bro. The empty drawers, the empty
drawers,
empty
dude.
cabinets, dude.
Don't give me them. Don't let me interact with them if there's nothing in them. Please.
Fuck.
God, I hate them so much. I hate them so fucking much.
Fuck. Fucking this fucking game.
The Last of Us, man. Fuck you for making that a thing. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna give this game a 9 out of 10.
hell yeah.
Besides the padding, besides the empty drawers, which I never want to see again, I had such a good time. I mean, maybe I am a masochist, but like, there was just something so pulling about this remake for me that I just like kind of couldn't wait to get home every day and like
Put on your nurse outfit.
put on my nurse outfit, shut the blinds, pop the headphones on, and just have a real spooky
pajamas,
time.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Let's hear it, bud. Yeah. I'm dying to know
right.
how much you hated this fucking game.
All right.
I think we have like 10 minutes left on this camera, so just go off.
So I obviously had a very different experience. I wish I had played the original now, because like I probably could have got through it, and I would have had a much better appreciation and fuller understanding of everything going on.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
didn't get to do that. I did something totally different, and I feel like I'm gonna look like I'm just a fucking dunce and all this shit's going over my head and I didn't catch the metaphors and shit. But I honestly, I'm not dumb. I honestly think like they just didn't fucking like they didn't communicate it well enough for a newcomer coming into this for the first half of the game. I obviously didn't get to the second half where everything's probably fucking explained. But
No.
with that being said, dude, this fucking game, this game is kitchen the game, dude. It's kitchen the game. You ever just walk into a kitchen, you open the cabinet, there's nothing in there? That's this fucking game. You ever walk up to a door, the door's locked, you can't get in? That's Silent Hill 2. It's just locked doors and nothing to fucking do.
Dude,
I hate this fucking game so much.
You should not play Silent Hill 3, dude. Dude, if
wanna
you
do all
think
that?
there are a lot of locked doors here, dude,
The mall? You talking about the mall?
Dude,
you got a mall in
mall.
Silent Hill 3, and every store is closed. Every one.
I fucking
And there's an
hate it.
animation that's tied to it. At least in this one, it's like, oh, that one's like, this door's broken. This door's broken.
Oh my god.
This door's
Dude,
broken.
It's just fucking
This door's
insane. Like
broken.
what a terrible design. And then the fact that they probably made the area bigger than it originally was for just to add more locked doors and for me to walk into another fucking kitchen. And it's like every apartment is just like a mirror of the last apartment you walk in. So it's like the same fucking kitchen. I'm like, fucking drunk. Yeah, nothing in it. Cool. And then you go to the bathroom. The bathrooms are even worse because most of the time there's not even a cabinet or a drawer. There's nothing in here. It's just a pointless fucking room for me to be in. Except for the one time where James sees a toilet just filled to the brim with shit. And that's the one where he's like, there's something in there. I gotta get that. Because every other toilet, dude, the way I've spent playing this game, dude, is every bathroom I would walk into, I would look at the toilet and be like, oh, that one's not gross enough for you, James? You don't want to stick your hand in that one? It's only got a couple cigarettes in the bottom of it. No, you want the one filled with stranger shit, dude. That's what you want.
Cousin.
Like, what the fuck, dude? So that entire complex was a nightmare for me, and not because it was scary, but because I had to go into another kitchen, followed by another kitchen, and it was fucking horrible. But with that being said, bonus stars, right? Bonus stars. I've got your bonus star. It's right in this box. Oh wait, the box is empty. Fuck you. I hate this fucking game. Number 2. Let's see. My positives. Can't think of any. Really didn't enjoy my time here. Negatives. Shit puzzles, shit narrative, shit level design, shit enemies. I hate this game. Favorite part, walking into GameStop tomorrow when I would get half my fucking money back for this piece of shit. Replayability, I just wrote LOL. Absolutely insane. And my score, I'm gonna give this a 5.5 out of 10, and you can fucking like it. You can enjoy,
that's not a bad
enjoy your
score.
5.5, dude. Enjoy the 5.5. Be happy with that. That's what you get.
Not a bad score.
That's what you get.
This guy gave Rebirth a 3, so that's fantastic.
Oh, that fucking rules.
I'm personally
dude.
offended.
Tifa, cover your
Like I
ears.
said, I wish I could have just played the 7 Rebirth. No, fuck Rebirth, dude. That game ruined my childhood. But I hate this fucking game so much. Dude. The fact that you made me pay
Listener,
my own
let
money
it
for
let it
this,
be
dude.
known that Eric does like video games, I think.
Yeah, I talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
They know I like games. I just don't like the games that you guys tell me to play.
Yeah, we need to stop doing that.
Please stop.
We need to stop
asking me to
we need
play
to stop.
games.
There hasn't been a single fucking game we've had you
Not
play
one,
that you've
dude.
liked.
Not
Not
one.
one.
Wow.
Not a single one.
I just told him to play Crypt Custodian too. I'm not sure he's going to like it.
Well, I found that game on my own and I thought it looked good.
It's great.
So it doesn't count.
I think you should play it.
I'm gonna. So it doesn't count.
All right.
Because I had already decided I was gonna play that game.
Dude, if you gave this a 5.5, I think I gotta bump this up to a 9. My score's now a 9.
I can take it down, dude. I have no problem with taking it down. But I gotta
What brought it from a 5 to a 5.5? I'm curious.
I don't know.
Okay.
It was like, well, because I guess
Is
it's not
it
like,
a pity half star? Is that
I
what it
think
was?
it's a pity half star. Yeah. It's probably just I feel bad shitting on this game. You guys like a lot.
Oh, that's fine. I don't really.
But
I don't
honestly,
give a shit.
I honestly think that like it all kind of came full circle for me in the end. Like now that like I know for a fact that the last thing I did was the 3-chain box puzzle. It is honestly fucking perfect because I spent hours in that.
Oh, did you
fucking
open that
hospital.
box?
Yes, I opened the box.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I spent hours fucking doing these dumb puzzles to put together these combinations for me to go undo the fucking chain and then undo the other chain. I go to the other fucking thing to do a stupid shitty puzzle with a clock and a flickering light. And then for the last code, and then I open it and the box is fucking empty, dude. Just like this entire fucking game, empty, dude. This entire experience for me was empty. And it just sums it up so well. It's like a really, really good ending, in my opinion. I got ending, 9? That's my ending. Empty box, bro.
Dude,
Poetry,
that's a good
folks.
place to end
That's
the
poetry.
game. That is poetry. Well, we'll see you next time with a game that Eric hopefully likes. Thank you, Connor, or shall we say Tifa, for joining us on this on something that we kind of really liked.
Yeah, and also sorry. You know?
Hey,
From me.
I don't even know how to
From me to
respond.
you. You don't have to forgive me. It's cool.
It's fine. It's fine.
Thank you so much for watching or listening. If you find you need more of your Super Game Boys fix, check out this video where we build our ultimate Final Fantasy party. It'll make Sixie here really happy.